Awareness by Anthony DeMello. On waking up. Spirituality means waking up. Most people, even though they don't know it, are asleep. They're born asleep, they live asleep, they marry in their sleep, they breed children in their sleep, they die in their sleep, without ever waking up. They never understand the loveliness and the beauty of this thing that we call human existence. You know, all mystics, Catholic, Christian, non-Christian, no matter what their theology, no matter what their religion, are unanimous in one thing, that all is well. All is well. Though everything is a mess, all is well. Strange paradox to be sure. But tragically, most people never get to see that all is well because they are asleep. They are having a nightmare. Last year on Spanish television, I heard a story about this gentleman who knocks on his son's door. "Jaime," he says, "wake up!" Jaime answers, "I don't want to get up, Papa." The father shouts, "Get up! You have to go to school." Jaime says, "I don't want to go to school." "Why not?" asks the father. "3 reasons," says Jaime. "First, because it's so dull. Second, the kids tease me. And third, I hate school." And the father says, "Well, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you must go to school. First, because it is your duty. Second, because you are 45 years old. And third, because you are the headmaster. Wake up! Wake up! You've grown up. You're too big to be asleep. Wake up. Stop playing with your toys." Most people tell you they want to get out of kindergarten, but don't believe them. Don't believe them. All they want you to do is mend their broken toys. Give me back my wife. Give me back my job. Give me back my money. Give me back my reputation, my success. This is all they want. They want their toys replaced. That's all. Even the best psychologist will tell you that people don't really want to be cured. What they want is relief. A cure is painful. Waking up is unpleasant, you know. You are nice and comfortable in bed. It's irritating to be woken up. That's the reason the wise guru will not attempt to wake people up. I hope I'm going to be wise here and make no attempt whatsoever to wake you up if you are asleep. It's really none of my business. Even though I say to you at times, wake up, my business is to do my thing, to dance my dance. If you profit from it, fine. If you don't, too bad. As the Arabs say, the nature of rain is the same, but it makes thorns grow in the marshes and flowers in the gardens. Well, there you have it. What's this all about? Well, basically, life is not about just getting free stuff and having your problem solved. That's what life is about when you're a child. But life isn't just about being comfortable, being happy. Everybody's looking for happiness, but the reality is you have to be responsible. You have to be accountable. You have a duty. Society, you live in society. Society provides many things. Paved roads, police, military. But in order to receive that, you have a duty. Your duty isn't just to sit there like a baby bird with your mouth open saying, me, feed me, feed me, feed me. I don't like that. That's unpleasant. Get it out of my sight. You have a duty to yourself, mainly. As I've mentioned before, in this world, you basically have your mind, you have your body, and you have your family and other relationships. And the best thing to do is to cultivate these things. It's very easy to be lazy and just sit around watching TV, watching movies, reading junk books, not developing your mind. A lot of people think education, you go to school, you graduate school, and after school, you can close the books and forget about learning. This is terrible. And it's a very Western way of thinking, which unfortunately has pretty well spread globally. Your real education can start any time, but school should teach you how to use your mind. You have many faculties. You have the faculty of reason. You can use logic, um, memory. You have to develop these faculties in your mind. How to think correctly. How to take in information and figure out what it means and judge whether it's useful or not, and disregard the useless, figure out what's useful, differentiate, judge, and things like that. So, obviously, there are bad things you can put in your mind just like there are bad things you can put in your body. You have to take care of your body. Smoking, drinking, junk food, drugs, lack of sleep, no exercise. We all know this is bad. But he says people don't want to get out of kindergarten. They just want everything easy and given to them. They want you to mend their broken toys. But this is how you sleep your way through life. You have to learn to solve your problems. You have to learn to be responsible. You have to learn to take care of yourself. You have to learn to avoid the negative and cultivate the positive. You have to try to stay on the path, the straight and narrow. And when you veer off the path, you got to try to get back to the path. You'll overshoot it, get back, try to spend as much time on the path as you can. This doesn't mean you have to be super hard on yourself and you have to be super strict all the time and beat yourself up if you stray from the path. But you should keep a mind to staying on the path. He says that people don't really want to be cured. What they want is relief, because a cure is painful. You know, it takes work. It's hard. You master your mind. Mastering your mind means you get yourself to do things you don't want to do, uncomfortable things. And it's like a muscle. The more you exercise your mind to do things you don't want to do, the stronger you become. It's like Muhammad Ali's famous quote. He said he never enjoyed one exercise. I'm paraphrasing now. He hated exercising. He hated working out, but he wanted to be a champion. And that's what discipline means. You see your goal and you do what you have to do, regardless whether you want to do it or not. I don't like exercising personally, and I have to force myself to do it, but I've been doing it all my life. As a result, I'm in pretty good shape. Now, granted, my diet is pretty bad. I have my weaknesses as well, but I've avoided smoking. I don't drink. I'll have a social drink once in a while. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. I try to get some sleep. Difficult. I exercise. It's hard for me to sleep on my schedule, but that's it. You try to control what you can and try to improve. He also says, it's nice and comfortable in bed and it's irritating to be woken up. Yeah, it's very easy just to go with the flow and do nothing, not improve yourself. And then he says, look, my business is to do what I do. If you want to listen to me, fine. If you don't, fine. I'm just telling you how it is. And if you just want to stay in kindergarten and stay asleep and do whatever you want and avoid anything unpleasant, you can. But you're basically going to be a child your whole life. You're not going to solve your problems. having people do things for you. If you don't like this, you don't like that, go and complain. You know, get people to force you to have it easy, things like that. And then he ends with the saying that the Arabs say the nature of the rain is the same, but it makes thorns grow in the marshes and flowers in the gardens. So the idea of a garden, this is like Candide's famous quote in Voltaire's novel Candide. He says, cultivate your garden. What he's talking about the walled garden. The walled garden he's talking about is actually your brain, walled inside your skull. And you cultivate this. What does that mean? It means you pluck out the weeds. You plant what you want with good seed. You tend to your garden. Whenever a weed shows up, like poor lazy behavior, you have to weed your garden. This is constant. There's always going to be seeds sprouting, and you have to judge these seeds and decide what you're going to let in the garden. In the marsh, out in the wild, thorns will grow. If you don't tend your garden, it's going to be overrun with thorns. It's just going to be useless plants, easy, whatever grows, and basically going with the flow. It's like the only fish that swim with the current are dead fish. They just float with the current. You got to go against the current sometimes. The current is the easy way. You know, a lot of people have talked about this, The Road Less Taken by Robert Frost, for instance, or so many people have said this. The road to mastery is very difficult, but master your mind. Your mind controls everything, controls your thoughts, controls your actions, controls your behaviors. Sometimes you got to force yourself to get some rest. You have to avoid junk food or other bad habits. You have to force yourself to do good habits. Sometimes it gets easier, sometimes it doesn't. But it's like having a pet. If you have a dog, you don't walk the dog. Dog is going to get fat and lazy. If you feed the dog junk food, dog is going to be unhealthy. Dogs require walking, they require exercise, good food, water, sufficient rest, bathing, haircuts. You have to basically take care of the animal. Well, which animal needs better taken care of? You, your own mind, your own body, your relationships, things like that. If it was easy, everybody would do it. You've been given a certain number of talents and abilities in this world. It's your duty to cultivate those. Try to be the best version of yourself you can. Of course, you're going to fall short, but you try your best. And this is why we have heroes. Heroes are people we can look up to, people who've done more than we could possibly do, but we can strive to be like them. And then you have heroes who have heroes, and goes right up the pyramid to the example of the most perfect human being, which in our culture would probably be Jesus. Other cultures would probably have a different idea of who the perfect human being is. It doesn't matter if Jesus existed or not. It doesn't matter if you're a Christian. The idea of the perfect person to strive towards, in the Christian ethic, the hero of the people would probably be a saint. The heroes of the saints would be Jesus, but Jesus could be everybody's. We strive to be like the saints strive to be more like Jesus. And everybody, human beings are imperfect. We're all going to falter. We're all going to miss the mark. We're all going to veer off the path. That's what sin means. It means you miss the mark. Sin is actually an onomatopoeia word. It's an arrow that goes sin. It misses the mark. It goes past. And you try again. You try not to sin. You try to hit the target. You try to hit the bullseye. Anyway, food for thought. Final thing that I'd like to say about this is you develop bad habits. It's like, I can't remember who said, but practicing a bad habit is like laying down a thread every day. You do the bad habit every time you do it, there's a thread. You do it 3 or 4 times, you can snap the threads. You do it hundreds of times, it becomes a rope. You do it thousands of times, it becomes a cable. Pretty soon, it's pretty well unbreakable. So how do you break the bad habit? Well, it's just like snap one thread at a time. Every day you don't do that. Every day you do something better instead. You snap the thread, but you put yourself in a very negative situation, and it's going to take a long time to get out. Nobody's going to come by with a knife and cut your rope for you. You have to do it yourself. You have to wake up. You have to get out of kindergarten. Anyway, something to think about. If you have any questions, any comments down below. Till next time, loves you, baby. This guy. All the best. Stay strong. And hopefully things will improve. Goodbye.